Hello, welcome back. I have been asked the same question over and over and over again since I started teaching animation and coding 15 years ago, which is, I have a young child, what can I do to get them interested in starting to code and really loving it and really loving computers and not just consuming all the media and the games, but actually making them. So my number one tip for everybody is get on Scratch, especially when you have younger children. And I'm talking children anywhere from kindergarten, first, second, third. You can even do it in fourth, fifth, sixth grades. The lesson that I'm going to be talking about today is a very simple lesson. It crosses over into literacy, which I know a lot of you English teachers are going to love. And basically, we are going to learn to open Scratch and create a little program and put our names in there, and every time we click on one of the letters in our names, it's going to do something different, a different type of action or a sound or a movement. So super easy. Stay tuned. I'm so happy you're here, and this is going to be so much fun. This is my absolute favorite lesson to teach for younger students. So that's grades 1 through 3, but certainly you can do 4, 5, 6 with this and just make the examples and the challenges a little bit harder for the older students. So we are starting off at Google, which I recommend for all teachers, just because some programs are called different names. And if a child goes up here into the search bar and just starts typing, they might go to an unknown land in internet world, someplace that you don't want them to go. And I've had that happen numerous times. So I always start at Google. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Scratch MIT. And MIT, of course, is the amazing, fabulous technical school that made Scratch. So we click on that. And here we go. Scratch, Imagine, Program, Share. Wonderful. Click on that. And we are at their very famous blue screen, and we see their little Scratch logo right there, which you probably have seen before in your STEM and your STEAM teachings. I highly recommend registering and signing in. It is free. Each student can have their own username and pass, and then they can keep their work and they can send their work. If you don't want to sign in, that's fine as well. Go ahead and click Start Creating. And you'll get this little prompt screen that says they're loading all their extensions. You see the little blocks that we're going to be dragging onto the screen? Okay, so now here is the Scratch screen. Right away, I see the famous little Scratch cat. That's called a Sprite, and he is one of the logos for Scratch. And then at the bottom of the screen, I see these tutorials. Go through these tutorials when you have some time. It's going to give you lots of ideas for other classes. So let's go ahead and close our tutorial box. And we see over here on the left, these are all our different options for our code. And all we're going to do with these is pick them up and drag them into our main screen after we've chosen them. Okay? Down here at this bottom right-hand window, that's where we're going to choose all our sprites. And our sprites are just a fancy word or a fancy term for the characters that show up on our screen. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of our cat sprite, because we are going to be spelling out our first names letter by letter, and then we are going to put some coding behind each letter. And when we click on each letter of our name, the letter is going to do something different, or do something, move, or say a sound, or do a funky little pixelate, just do something different so the kids see what the programming is. So we don't want the cat sprite. So go ahead and click this little X right here. All right, he's gone. Bye-bye. Okay, now down here in the bottom right, this is our little sprite window. And if I hover above this little cat right here with the plus, it says choose a sprite. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Choose a sprite. Now, Scratch is so fabulous. It gives us all these little guys to choose from. And these are all sprites that we could then put into our code and make the baseball do something, or the bananas, or the balloon, or the bear, or the ballerina. And some of them have a little bit of coding behind them already. So here are all of our categories. I want you to go down to the letters and click on letters. And we have 3 different sets of letters to choose from. These are just different types of fonts. So they just look differently, but they all act the same. They're all just regular old sprites, regular old pictures. So we're going to pretend our name is Ella. So the first thing we're going to grab is E. And there's our E. E for Ella. Okay, let's go down, choose a sprite, choose letters, and let's grab L. And there's our L. So we now have L. Okay, E, L. Let's grab our third letter. So go into sprites, choose letters, choose L again. I drag that into position. Go into choose sprites, letters, choose A, and drag that into position. So now I have my name, Ella. Fabulous. Now, let's go down here and click on our block E for Ella. Now, we want to add some programming so that when we click on our E for Ella, it does something. So it's not just a cartoon picture, it actually does something. So over here in our left-hand control panel, we have motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. Okay, we are just going to stick with these top 5. So I want you to go to events. Now, events means when something happens. And so I like to have the kids go ahead and click on different things because it helps them understand their mouse and helps them with their keyboard functions. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag over when this sprite clicked. And that means when this sprite is clicked, because we have E highlighted, when this sprite is clicked, do something. So now I have when this sprite is clicked. Now let's choose what happens when this sprite is clicked. So I'm going to go to my motion, and I'm going to go ahead and tell this E to turn when it's clicked. But instead of turning 15 degrees, can you type in there 90? And then let's test it. Look at that. So every time I click right on this E, it turns 90 degrees. So you math teachers should love this. 90, 90, 90, 90. Fabulous. Okay, now let's go over. So that's what happens with our E. Let's go over to our L and see what happens with our L. So I go down in this panel, right down here, my sprite panel, and I click on L to select it. Now, same thing that I did with E, I need to have an event to kick us off. Think of your event as your opening night. Something has to kick us off. Okay, when you turn something on like a TV, that's your event. You open your front door to walk down your street, that's your event. Okay, something has to happen to kick us off. All right, so drag over when this sprite is clicked. All right, now let's see what we want to do for when this sprite is clicked. Okay, now for our looks, how about we have all these different options. These are a little bit of weighting options, say and think. We have a switch costume, which means it would change a different look. Let's go ahead and do change by size. Okay, so change by size. So now when this sprite is clicked, change by size 10. Oh, looky there. The L is getting bigger, bigger, bigger when it's clicked. Okay, wonderful. Now, you guessed it, go to our second L and go to our events. And when this sprite is clicked, all right, so we have when this sprite is clicked, let's go to our sound. And let's do play sound meow until done. Uh-oh, get ready for this. Adorable. We have one left. A. All right, we have one left. It's our A. So let's go over to our events. When this sprite is clicked, and let's do looks this time. Let's go ahead and drag set color effect to. And let's, instead of color, let's do pixelate. And pixelate effect to 25. Pixelate effect to 25. Okay, now let's try it out. Oh, look at that. Okay, so eventually this is going to pixelate, or it's going to turn into little pixels, and the little pixel boxes will make it look like a box, just a big old orange box. All right, so now we have each of these letters doing something different. Now, my challenge is to you as the teacher or the parent or the librarian, go ahead and go back and have all the kids gather around each child's computer or device and have them show off their names and have them show off their name functionality. Then let them have some time to fool around with each one, and maybe instead of set pixelate to effect 25, they're going to say set color to effect 25, and then they're going to change the color. Let's try a different one. Fisheye. Ooh, that's sort of cool. Let's try whirl. Oh, okay, so it makes it a little bit lopsided. We did pixelate. Oh, I like that mosaic. That's really super cool. I think kids will really like that. Let's do brightness. That just sort of changed it to yellow. Let's do ghost. Ooh, transparency. Okay, wonderful. Now you can hit stop. And then you go into File and Save to your computer. Okay, now you must be logged in to do this, and then you can send it out to your parents, your grandparents, your teacher. If you're grading this as a part of your computer lab, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, and you will receive a notification every time Easy Codes for Kids uploads a new video for you to do. Thank you.